Yeah, I gotta get my belt. I almost forgot about that. Interesting thing, that's just been going through my mind today is just you have to get out and see the world for yourself. In the sense that, we're living through a time now where so many different cultures are intersecting. Well, the world is just so interconnected, right? Like everyone is connected to everybody else in ways that, we can't even quantify it today. But it's, the world is so different, right? And I think, personally, I'm speaking from a point where, I'm in my late 20s now, and I was born and raised in Southern Africa. I moved to Eastern Europe for my studies, and now I currently work in Eastern Europe and in the Middle East as well, Dubai. And I've got family in the United Kingdom, right? Just that alone is, it kind of puts my whole family, or just my whole, like my base, right, of being an international kind of family, right? And I started traveling maybe about 2 years ago. It was back in 2023, obviously 2025 right now. And since then I've learned so much. I've learned so much through trial and error, but most importantly, I think it's just the exposure, right? I think one of the very first lessons I learned, 2023, which is the time when I really started traveling quite frequently, is I was supposed to be going to Dubai, and it was my first time going to Dubai, and I didn't recognize or realize that I needed a visa, right? And so there I was, excited to be going to Dubai for the first time, man, the city that everybody's always talking about. And all of a sudden I'm there at the airport, and the check-in agent says, yo, where's your visa? And I was kind of like, well, do I need one to go to Dubai? He said, yeah, well, you need it. You can't board the plane if you don't have a visa. And I thought that maybe, all right, I can get one on arrival, but that's just not how it works depending on the passport that you have. Obviously other people have different passports, but that's just an experience that I learned myself. And even after that, everywhere where I've traveled, since then, because I think from 2023 the frequency of my travel has expanded, or it's kind of just shot up exponentially. And everywhere where I go, even if I do have visa-free entry or visa on arrival, I always triple check or quadruple check if I need the visa, even just the day before, right? But back to the exposure, where I think you just have to give yourself, is it a year, is it 2 years, is it 5, maybe 10, right? Depending on what what you're comfortable with and what your appetite is, and just go and see the world, man. Everything is so different, right? Cultures are different, cuisine is different, attire, people's dress is different, the weather everywhere is different, right? Cuisine, for example, I had this friend of mine who I met during university. He's Italian, and you can have, so suppose a lasagna. Now it's, there's a stereotype that, the Italians are very particular about, the way you prepare certain dishes, the way you prepare certain food. And I genuinely don't, how do I put this? I understand it, because I had this experience with him where we had the lasagna from an Italian restaurant, right? And then we also had the experience where he personally decided to make a dish, with natural ingredients and everything, straight from scratch. I think he made lasagna and tiramisu. And just the difference in taste, the difference in quality. And, you're kind of shocked. You're like, wow, that is very different. And because you get exposed to that, you then realize, you're like, all right, I kind of understand why they're so protective, or why, a certain culture would be protective of the way that their cuisine is made, or the way that, you prepare food, right? Whether you put pineapple on pizza, right? But you kind of understand it once you kind of see that for yourself. I had this one experience where, when I went to Dubai, so the first thing that I think I noticed there is that, a couple of things. Now, obviously, if we go during the summer months, it's absolutely hot, crazy hot. And but the very interesting thing, and again, this is just my own personal opinion, but when you and I don't even know how to describe this right. You step outside, it's super, super hot, especially during the summer months. Call them months, winter months, if we call them that. It's, it's livable in the sense that the weather is very decent. But during the summer months, the amount of air conditioning that is everywhere, whether you're in a car, whether you are in a hotel, in a building, wherever you are, if it's an enclosed system or a system with infrastructure like a building, the level of AC that you meet in Dubai is absolutely crazy. Even to today, I've been going there for about what 2-3 years now, quite frequently, and just the level of that AC that I meet there. It's a very small thing, but it's something that you're like, wow, it's so different, right? And for example, today I'm in a Bolt here in Vilnius, Lithuania, and I ordered an ordinary. Well, you've got the different tiers of Bolt, right? But I ordered a Bolt, not premium, but because you got Bolt Basic, and then you got the Bolt Normal, and then Comfort, and then Premium X or something. And I ordered a normal one, and today I'm in a Tesla, right? But obviously, if you go to Dubai, it's completely different, because in Dubai, like whether it's Uber Black, Uber X, right? These high-end cars are like the normal, whereas here, it's changing. I'd say in Lithuania it's changing a little bit, because over time now you are getting a lot more of the Teslas, the Lexuses, as rides that you can get, right, which are fairly priced. Previously, before, you'd be paying double digits, $15 for a simple trip. But it's if there's any word that I can just leave or just try emphasize is, go out into the world, go out and see, go out and just get exposure, right? Because you never know what you might bump into, right? Again, my own other personal opinion, I feel like in the past 12 to 18 months, I've traveled more throughout Africa than I have for the previous 25 years of my life, right? And I found that, one, you've got Rwanda, beautiful country, clean, super clean. They've got a national cleanup day, which is absolutely crazy. I found that the dunes at Skeleton Coast, so this is off the coast of Namibia, the desert dunes in Namibia are, in my own personal opinion, better than the ones in Dubai. People might not share that experience or that same opinion, but this is just what I've seen, because you're going up the dunes and you've got the sea. You've got the sea as part of your view, and not just the full desert, right? But that's just me, right? That's just my own personal experience. And so if there's any message that I just want to leave with anyone who watched this today, is that just give yourself the chance to go see the world. You might not be able to travel the world, continent by continent, but if you can just travel to your neighboring country, if you can maybe even travel to a different city within the same country, man, you'll never know what you see, what you might get exposed to, and how that will just change your experience and expand your understanding of the world and what keeps us all connected. So yeah, man, that's just my message for today. If you enjoyed it, I hope you like it, share it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, peace.